I the asshole for telling my girlfriend to stop sharing her food? My girlfriend always offers to share food with everyone when we go out to eat. I've asked her why she does this, and she says that's just how she was raised. To always make sure everybody else at the table is taken care of and before she eats anything. I've told her multiple times that while it is an admirable gesture, she doesn't have to do that, and that no one will judge her for not offering her food because they have their own meals. This isn't just with shareable items either. She will offer bites of her burger or pasta or soup or other things that are simply just not easy to split, usually ending up with another person taking direct bites or stabbing their used forks and depositing their saliva into her food. Aside from the ick factor, I've also told her that she really needs to avoid offering her meal when we dine out with my friend Brian, fake name, because he's the type of person who has no self-control with food and zero social awareness. To understand that help yourself does not mean you can eat all of it and I won't mind. This has happened a lot in the past, where he'll house 90% of a shared appetizer plate because the rest of us were talking and being polite. He just assumes that meant we weren't hungry. I wouldn't care as much if he paid for it, but he almost is always broke and doesn't seem to understand what tax and tip are. If the item was listed at $11.99 on the menu, when the check comes, he'll toss exactly $12 and think he's square. That is truly funny, though. I think he understands. I think he's just trying to get away with it as much as possible because he knows that his friend group seemingly will just cover it, right? I mean, why not? I do gotta say, though, it does suck that your friend, has no social cues, because, obviously, if I was going to share food with somebody, I don't really think it's that big of a deal if you know the people, right? If you know your friends, if you know different, people you're sharing your food with, I'm not really that big of a germaphobe, and if I'm tasting something delicious, I want to share it. I want everybody to taste this badass thing that I'm tasting, right? Share it around, because there's always going to be more food, right? There's not always going to be more experiences. So what, right? So what? She shares her food. So what? Maybe she has to buy another meal. If it's what makes her feel good, sharing that meal with people, I don't see an issue with it. Yumi girl, come down. Come down, pretty kitty. I know most of you are going to ask why I'm even still friends with Brian if I hate eating with him, but please understand that he's a really great guy and a reliable friend. He just has a troublesome relationship with food. That's not the only fact of his personality. Just the only one relevant to this post. Last night, we were out again with friends, and my girlfriend once again offered her meal to everybody, Brian included. I didn't want to make a scene, but I gave her a little nudge, and she just gave me a shrug in return. Unsurprisingly, Brian ended up eating most of her food, as well as his own plate. My God, bro. And my girlfriend didn't say anything. On my way home, she asked if we could stop by a fast food place because she didn't get much to eat. Okay, no, that's an issue now. That really is an issue. Your oversharing is making you not eat, and having to eat worse food because of it is not even fair to you. And I told her she should have just eaten the food she ordered instead of offering it at the table. I said this is exactly why I warned her, and that she's seen the way Brian is with food, and she shouldn't have just been surprised when he ate more than he was actually intended to let him. I still stopped to get her something. Of course you did. Why wouldn't you? She's hungry. What kind of post? What? Of course you did. If somebody says they're hungry, what are you going to say? You shared your food. I'm the big bad man. You can't have any food. You're grounded from it until you learn not to share. Dude, what a dumb... I hate this dude's wording. He's so clearly a little controlling. But I also complained that I don't enjoy paying for Brian's meal, since he basically ate all of hers. I might have been harsh, but this has come up multiple times, and she knows I'm not a fan of it. I could tell she was upset when I said it, and she still is now. She hasn't called me an a-hole, but she's making me feel like one, and I think we're both expecting the other to apologize first. So, am I the a-hole? Dude, yeah. Don't talk to your partner about sharing her food. This entire story is not about your partner. It's about Brian. Brian's not your partner, dude. This entire thing, it starts off as I'm actually a little annoyed that my girlfriend shares her food with everybody, and then it just turns out she likes to share her food with friends, according to the story. Maybe she shares her food with random strangers, but it just sounds like she shares her food with friends, and your main issue is the fact that your friend Brian has an unhealthy relationship with food and an obvious boundary issue with actually letting other people eat. You need to talk to Brian. You need to bring this whole post to Brian. Be like, Brian, I'm at my wit's end, buddy. I wrote a Reddit post about you. I guised it under my girlfriend. If she found out, she'd be a little bit upset because I keep blaming her for your bad habits. There's nothing wrong with sharing food. There's nothing wrong with being a kind person. But you are clearly weird and controlling and not able to talk to your friend, but somehow able to reprimand your girlfriend? What? That doesn't make any sense. Tell me where that makes sense. Bro, you are so the a-hole, it's not even funny. I would be really silly, right? This is me. I would be a little petty about it because if you are already at a point where you have bought a ton of Brian's food, next time you go out, just order a second of whatever your wife is ordering. Whatever your girlfriend is ordering, just order a second plate of it, okay? And then when Brian looks confused, when everybody looks confused, and ultimately your girlfriend goes to share a plate, she could just share the shared plate. She's like, you know what? I really would like everybody to try this because I know I ordered something awesome. Would you guys like to have some? And then I really truly believe the act of you starting to order 2 plates might get to Brian, right? If he has any semblance of, okay, I'm kind of overdoing it. I'm kind of eating too much here. If he's ordering 2 plates to make sure his girlfriend, you need to get the point across. You see? But it's not your girlfriend you have to get it across to. She needs to eat. She needs to be okay. You need to not be an a-hole. Let's look at some comments. The first one is, you're the a-hole. It only takes 2 seconds to say, Jesus, Brian, she said try. Yeah, why is it anybody else's problem? Like, it's not your girlfriend's problem for being kind. Like, you are the a-hole, another commenter says. You make every excuse under the sun for Brian's relationship for the food, but expect your girlfriend to have her own issues around food 100% under control and to be responsible for managing Brian's on top of it. Yeah, why is it on her? It's just so frustrating. Like, some men are like this. They're like, they put their friends on this pedestal. Like, they've done so much for me. I don't care how they act. They're just, you don't get how he is behind closed doors. Come on, dude. Tell him to buy his own food. Man up. Like you're asking your woman to. Figure it out. What do y'all think?